buy. Save up to $15,000 on 25 F-150, 30 to choose from, or lease as low as $389 a month. Or how about a Bronco Sport, up to $6,000 off, or lease as low as $279 a month. And yes, 0% still available, plus zero money down and zero payments for 90 days. And take advantage of tax savings for 2025. Get your best deal now at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Monday morning. It is 10 after 9 on a brand new year of Morning Talk. Mary, at least we had an uneventful, nothing happened over the weekend.
Oh, that's good. Something happened this morning, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But, an uneventful weekend over a long holiday again. And, of course, being New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Just so glad that it was uneventful.
I do want to point out to some of our listeners, I wanted to thank them for their patience, because before we go into a long holiday weekend, we got to have a piece of major equipment fail.
Great.
We lost our main satellite receiver Wednesday morning.
Okay.
I'm sitting here in KBRF waiting for Mark Van Camp and Robbins to come on, and it's gone.
Gone. Okay, well.
So I want to thank everybody who, dealt with all the weird shows that we had at all ends of the hour.
Well, I was away from the radio. I was unaware that even happened, so sorry to be in the dark about that. I could have helped out somehow. I don't know how.
No,
but,
there's nothing you could have done. But again, a big shout out to our crack engineering staff getting us back up and running. Then, of course, we had everything that happened. Woke up Saturday morning to everything in Venezuela.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So did we get everything was up and running again on Wednesday?
No, everything is up and running pretty much now.
Oh my.
We were missing shows up until probably, let's see.
Okay, so that was anything but uneventful for you.
No, it was very eventful.
Yes, of course.
A lot of my, quote, days off here.
Okay, well, anyway, so for those of you tuned in that put up with some, goofy last-minute stuff, our thanks to you, because, technologically speaking, our hands are a bit tied till we get
the receiver in. And
the receiver.
A lot of the shows pre-record early,
right.
So they weren't pre-recorded, and it's.
Oh my goodness! Oh, boy, when technology goes bad, it's bad, right?
Very bad.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry you had to spend that extra time. I, on the other hand, was pretty unplugged, and I was honestly really ready to come back to work today. Because pretty much for me it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days. I mean, I just had a whole vacation 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, super lucky, absolutely. But I am not made to just do nothing.
I had yesterday off.
Okay, well, I'm glad you did. Oh my goodness. And it was a huge weekend in news.
Yeah.
It started with Venezuela and the Maduros being, I guess she's not a Maduro, she's something else, Fuentes or something like that. But taking Nicolas Maduro and arrested, he and his wife arrested, and it was a surprise. I mean, they, again, U.S. military, way to go. Went in, did their job, got out. Exactly what they intended to do. I tell you what, you have to feel pretty good about the U.S. military.
Yeah, they used. It sounds like they used Delta Force this time.
I think so. Yep. And anyway, they, I believe, have been indicted in the state of New York.
This morning.
They are in New York, and they, I don't know if it's happened yet, but will likely be in court sometime today.
Yeah, they'll have the first appearance today.
So, what will that mean? I mean, we've grown pretty skeptical of the, the court system and how that goes, especially in New York. What are we going to see, do you think?
I don't know.
What's your gut on this?
I don't know. It could go either way. I see, because, I mean, out of all places to bring them, New York, they should have brought them to, like, Florida or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I guess you have to go where the indictment lies, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, that was big news. Well done, U.S. military. And of course, now that there are, people from this country who are screaming and yelling about going in and taking somebody out of Venezuela, which I don't understand. Again, we're getting the bad guys, people. And even I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene on Meet the Press yesterday. And I don't even know what she's doing there. Today is her last day. Just get her out of there. She can be done. But anyway, she is talking about, I don't know why we're doing things like that in another country when we could be working on things that need to be done here in this country. And I want to say, listen, you knucklehead, don't you understand that what they're doing in these other countries is protecting the United States? Does she not understand what's happening in Venezuela?
Yeah.
And all the things that are passing through there that are a threat to the safety of the United States? You can't just take a look at what's going on in your own border. You have to take a look globally. And I think for somebody in Congress to be so short-sighted, and Hakeem Jeffries was on Meet the Press as well, and he said the same thing, and I thought, really, you guys, don't you get it? Don't you get the bigger picture? They just can't provide any accolade to anything that the Trump administration is doing. So I guess that's what's going on there. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people from Venezuela in this country
Very
who
happy.
are celebrating. Life under Maduro was not very, very good.
Venezuela went from the third richest country in our hemisphere, behind the U.S. and Canada, to basically being a third world country.
Right. And, they talk about, all the United States wants is their oil. Well, that's not actually even true. And we've got enough of our own resources right here in this country. But what we want to do is protect our adversaries from getting that oil, and turn around and make the revenue from that oil benefit the people of Venezuela,
Yep.
who you are saying, as you mentioned, are very poor. At least most of them. There's either the very poor or the very wealthy, nobody in between. And so that's what they're trying to do, is turn things around for the people of Venezuela, and then hopefully stop some of this drug trafficking that's going through that country.
It's kind of funny. The one Maduro clip that did not age well was him telling the Trump, "If you want me, come and get me."
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, we did.
Okay, yep, we did. And they had given him a number of opportunities.
Even up to last week.
Right, to get out, to move on, just to, kind of walk away kind of a deal. And he was, come and get me, and they did. Perhaps a bigger news story than that, and you've already heard it because I heard it on this station on my way in, but Governor Tim Walz is no longer running for Minnesota governor.
Teflon Walls was finally able to read the leaves.
My goodness, yeah. Now, I just inside want to shout to the mountains in celebration. But what I then takes that celebration down quickly is who will be on that ticket instead. And my guess is it will be Amy Klobuchar.
That's your guess?
That's my gut. I think she's next. I think she has maybe the most recognizable name, which is all Minnesotans in Minneapolis, St. Paul need to vote for the Democrat.
Normally you go from like governor to senator. You don't go from senator to governor.
Well, I don't know, but I know her name is floating out there, and I'll bet she wants that.
I don't think she does.
You don't think?
No, I think she's got her eye on running for president again, and that doesn't work
you're right.
That doesn't work if you're kind of stuck in the Midwest.
So who's next in line? Peggy Flanagan is running for Senate.
Senate, yep.
So,
well, it'd be an entire new election. So it's whoever the Democrats choose as their candidate and their running mate. So I mean, it's not like he's just walking out now.
No, but it is a bit of a scramble for them.
It is, but then again, you got like 18 different people running for the Republican side.
True.
So it's not like they're behind.
No, that's true. And I still feel like we don't have a real strong front runner in that regard. But anyway, Walz launched his bid for a third 4-year term as Minnesota governor in September. He said, I'm going to run. but in recent weeks has been facing a barrage of incoming political fire from President Donald Trump and Republicans, and even some Democrats, over the large-scale theft in a state that has long prided itself on good governance. More than 90 people, most from Minnesota's large Somali community, have been charged since 2022 in what has been described as the nation's largest COVID-era scheme. How much money has been stolen through alleged money laundering operations involving fraudulent meal and housing programs, daycare centers, and Medicaid services is still being tabulated. But the U.S. Attorney in Minnesota said the scope of the fraud could exceed $1 billion and rise to as high as $9 billion. Prosecutors said that some of the dozens that have already pled guilty in a case used the money to buy luxury cars, real estate, jewelry, and international vacations, with some of the funds also sent overseas and potentially into the hands of Islamic terrorists. He said this, Governor Walz. He said, "This is on my watch. I am accountable for this, and more importantly, I am the one who will fix it." That's what he told reporters last month as he took responsibility for the scandal. He took responsibility in that media presentation only.
Yeah.
He does not see that he is, or he will, I can't imagine that he will say this is on him. But Trump repeatedly blasted Walz as incompetent during Thanksgiving, and the scandal, which grabbed plenty of national attention over the past 2 months, went viral the past few weeks following the release of that video by the 23-year-old YouTube content creator Nick Shirley, who alleged widespread fraud at Somali-run daycare centers. Days later, the Trump administration froze federal child care funding to Minnesota. And anyway, Tom Emmer, a Republican House Majority Whip, said this: "Good riddance."
Yep.
And I concur. Minnesota Republican State Representative Kristen Robbins, a candidate for governor, released a statement saying Tim Walz and his staggering fraud could not outrun our investigations and the momentum we have in this race. Now, what will that do for those who are running again on the Republican side of things? I don't know. There's a couple of schools of thought there. Did they somehow think, gosh, I wish he would have kept on. I wish he would have stayed in the race because everything is just mounting on top of him. And by then, nobody would vote for him. But he had to make the call, obviously, to put somebody else on that ticket.
I don't think he made the call. I think the call was made for him.
Absolutely. But what do you think? Would it have been better to let him keep sinking and have him on the ticket and beat him, or to get him out? I think the guy should be sitting in prison.
Yeah.
Not just out of office.
I think the Republicans are going to have a harder time beating somebody else than they would have had for Walz.
I think in either case, you and I have said it so many times, it doesn't matter the amount of fraud. If he's got a Democrat behind his name or she's got a D behind her name, good enough for
the people of the cities.
For the people of the cities. That's all they want. And all they want is someone who is not a Republican.
Yep.
So I don't know. Anyway, it feels like a celebration to me because here is somebody who has not taken care of Minnesota at all.
No.
Quite the opposite, and he is finally kind of seeing the repercussions of his inaction. And I don't know. For me, it feels like a celebration today.
It'll be interesting to see who the forerunner is. I don't think it'll be Klobuchar. I don't think she wants. You
don't think so, huh?
I think
okay.
She'd think it'd be a step back, and so I doubt that.
I thought it was interesting that he met with her yesterday.
Well, she's kind of the highest real Democrat
I suppose, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought, I know her name has been floated out there, so I don't know if that makes any difference or not.
I'll make it even scarier. How about Keith Ellison?
Oh, that would be far worse.
Yeah.
That would be far worse. So you can't say it couldn't be any worse because it could, and he would be the guy. He is another. Was he the one who gave his acceptance speech in Somali? Was that him?
He might have.
Yeah, I mean, really. let's remember where we are, people. We are in the United States of America. And I saw over the weekend, too, speaking of that, Zoran Mamdani, when he took his oath, he did so on the Quran.
Well, he is Muslim, so
I know.
It is what it is.
It is, I guess. But you know what? We can't have that it is what it is attitude. We got to go after it. And here is another thing that we have to go after this. And I'm not sure how, because I spent the weekend trying to find out who these people are that keep sending. This is letter number 6 now.
Really?
That says immediate attention. And then I get inside permanent absentee voter application notice. Urgent. Time is running out. Here is my application. This is the 6th one we have gotten in the mail, and it's everywhere on social media. Okay, so come to find out that it's a group, an organization called Integrity Minnesota, and it's in St. Paul. I have not been able to find a lot of material on it and who these people are. But they're doing some damage out there because a lot of people, not just me, are getting this. Mm-hmm. And they are registering to vote absentee forever. I think it's very dangerous. It's very clear why they don't leave any contact information. And it's very hard to find out who, in fact, this organization is. So I read a couple of things online over the weekend. There was another woman. She said, I am digging until I get to the bottom of this. I'm going to find out who these people are. Because you get this in the mail, it looks very official, and perhaps it is. But it's got my name, the county where I live. It has my address. And all I have to do is fill out, I have to fill out my date of birth. I can't believe they don't have that on here. Phone number and email address and sign. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah. There is one phone number on here, and that is for the Minneapolis Minneapolis Elections and Voter Services. So perhaps we could call there and find out who is Integrity Minnesota. I don't know. I think it's worth asking. And people, don't do it.
Yep.
And if they could put all this money in now my 6th letter, put that somewhere else to do some good. Quit sending me this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to call that number during the break. All right, we'll be back with more on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, as we've rounded the corner of Christmas and New Year's, we're live in studio with the news of the day, of course, but also a reading of your predictions from a year ago, what you thought would happen in 2025, and then what you think will happen in 2026. But it all starts with Heard It on Hot Talk. Spot the fake news if you can. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
What's the Ox say?
KBRFradio.com news. Get the news that matters delivered straight to your inbox. With KBRF Daily Headlines, you'll stay up to date on everything happening in your community. Sign up today and receive a roundup of the day's top stories all in one email. It's fast, convenient, and it's always free. From local updates to breaking news, KBRF brings you the headlines you need right at your fingertips. Visit KBRFradio.com and sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventures, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
Find out why the markets are moving. Get in-depth ag information with the Red River Farm Network on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
I'm Tyler Donaldson on the Red River Farm Network with your opening market update. Grains markets starting out the week here with a lot of green on the board. Soybeans trading double digits higher here currently. AgMarket.net market analyst Matt Bennett says the greens trading higher to start out the week thanks to a weekend filled with headlines.
We didn't know how this would maybe impact the markets here coming in. A lot of folks felt like maybe it'd be hard on the crude oil market. But as you and I speak, actually crude's up 40 cents. Look over the grains, and of course there's a little bit of buying coming in here. Last week was a rough week. That's all there is to it. Big losses for soybeans. Corn market lost 12, 13 cents. And so with double-digit losses on both sides, I think some of these guys came in here this week, and there's a little bit of buying that's unsurfaced. Export sales this morning that caught us up to about Christmas weren't anything to brag about.
Cattle markets buoyed by more reports of Mexican screwworm.
Fats started out pretty strong. They've backed off just a shade, but they're still, up a little bit. Feeders are strong. You look at what happened with the announcement that we essentially have screwworm in 2 different cases in Mexico, which tells you that we certainly have acted as though we were itching to open that border. But there's no doubt that that's not going to happen right now, especially with screwworm cases continuing to pop up. So I think that overall that's friendly towards the cattle market. I think a lot of people have felt all along that once that border opened up, you would see some selling come in here. But at the same time right now, it's pretty tough to beat the...
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
From pre-plant to post-harvest, the AMVAC potato portfolio includes a variety of products to help ensure success all season long. Experience tried and true soil fumigants like Vapam HL and Kpam HL, powerful protection with MoCap nematicide insecticide, and innovative green solutions products like Smart Block potato sprout inhibitor. With the AMVAC potato portfolio, you can get flexible, proven solutions that fit your needs. Visit amvac.com/potatoes.
Gowan USA herbicide platform delivers. Eptam 7E puts you in control. Flexible application timings, pre-plant incorporated, pre-emergent and post options, allowing timing that's right for you. Add Sonlin HFP for the best in-class control of tough broadleaf weeds and annual grasses and prolonged residual control. Eptam and Sonlin provide excellent control, but when you need more, Tank Mix with many pre-products that expand the spectrum of control. Above all, your potatoes have the best chance to yield to their maximum potential. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan Company.
Early mornings, late nights, rain, snow, sunshine. It's the rhythm of the day for the American farmer and rancher. We get it. The Red River Farm Network is here to help you make informed decisions for your farm. We're proud to deliver farm news, markets, and weather to the innovators and decision makers. Trust Don Wick, Tyler Donaldson, Jamie Dickerman, and Drew Lerner, delivering the information that impacts your bottom line. We're the Red River Farm Network, and we're reporting agriculture's business.
This is farm broadcaster Don Wick. Join the Red River Farm Network for coverage from the 107th Annual American Farm Bureau Federation annual meeting in Anaheim, California. We'll have the scoop on the policies and perspectives impacting agriculture in 2026. The Red River Farm Network coverage is sponsored by NDFB, Minnesota Farm Bureau, and South Dakota Farm Bureau. On air, online, and on the go, the Red River Farm Network is reporting agriculture's business.
May wheat Minneapolis is 1/4 cent higher to 5.81 3/4. Chicago May wheat's 1 3/4 higher at 5.20. KC March hard red winter wheat's up 4 cents to 5.19. March corn up 5 1/2 at 4.43 1/4. January soybeans are 10 1/4 higher, 10.39 3/4. March canola in Winnipeg 7.50 per metric ton higher at 6.1140 Canadian. February live cattle are up 60 cents to 236.60. January feeders 287 higher at 358.97. February hogs are $1.35 higher, 85.45. Reporting agriculture's business, you are listening to the Red River Farm Network.
If shore lunches and backstraps are a main part of your diet, then we've got a radio show for you. Sporting Journal Radio. It's the Midwest's radio home for the outdoors. I'm Brett Amundsen, and I'll get you caught up on the latest hunting, fishing, and outdoor information each week with tips from guides, biologists, and wild game cooks. Tune in to Sporting Journal Radio.
Catch Sporting Journal Radio Saturday mornings at 8:06 on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, anyplace with the new Fergus Now app on your phone.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me every Friday at 5 on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. From local crime and business news to road construction and car accidents, the weekly news recap keeps you up to date on what you need to know. The KBRF Weekly News Recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com. Memorials that matter.
What's the ox say?
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, as we've rounded the corner of Christmas and New Year's, we're live in studio with the news of the day, of course, but also a reading of your predictions from a year ago, what you thought would happen in 2025, and then what you think will happen in 2026. But it all starts with Heard It on Hot Talk. Spot the fake news if you can. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
What's the ox say?
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, anyplace with the Fergus Now app on your phone. As we have at 9:36, it's time for two Marys and a Dave.
All right, and we say good morning to Mary at the American Legion. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys. How's everyone today?
Well, we're good. Starting off a brand new year, and I think it should be everyone's New Year's resolution to let you guys do the cooking sometime this week.
Okay, works for me.
Okay, you're in. All right. Well, I saw that you have some great new dessert features for this first month of 2026. So tell us what's up in sweets in January.
Our dessert features for January are a cookies and cream cheesecake. It's a cheesecake with an Oreo cookie crust and then chunks of Oreo cookies in the cheesecake. It's very good. We also have graham cracker pie, kind of a favorite that people forget about. We don't carry very often, so it's our feature this month. And then we are still stuck on peppermint. So we're having a peppermint cheesecake ice cream dessert. We had that last month, but it sold so well. We've had a lot of requests for it, so we're going to carry it through another month just to keep that Christmas cheer going a little longer.
I think so. And, you know, I think peppermint is not only Christmas. It's kind of a winter thing. So you could,
there we go.
Yeah, you could keep that going all the time. It's just like I've got a couple of little trees and some greens that I put up for Christmas, but they don't have any bows or bells or anything on them, and I call those winter, and I leave them till like March. So it's okay for you to leave peppermint on the yeah. So you're good. All right. So next on the docket, you will be open, of course, all week this week after
our normal hours. Yep, Wednesday through Saturday. Carryout starts at 11 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and goes till 8. And again on Saturday from 3 till 8. But we have a dine-in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all days from 3 till 8.
Okay. And what are you serving up for this week's Wednesday special?
We think it's a good week for stew, so we're making a big old batch of beef stew, and we're going to serve that with a grilled cheese sandwich and something for dessert.
Ooh, that sounds good. Something a little different, too. Yeah, that sounds great.
It's a good wintry thing.
Absolutely. And here we are in early January. It's hard to believe, but here we are. And so some good comfort food from the American Legion feels like the perfect way to, kick off the first full week here. So we look forward to that. Mary, is there, what's the number to call if we would like to maybe get on that list, or if we'd like to order food to go?
Sure, give us a call at 739-4633, and we'll take care of whatever you need.
Okay, sounds great. Mary, we wish you a very good week. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you as well.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mary from the American Legion, that sounds good. Beef stew and a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, good combo. Really good combo.
And the cool thing is, one of the latest episodes of KBRF Presents Where to Eat is the American Legion. So you can check that out.
Yeah.
I know we watched it over one of the holidays over at my parents' house, and right away Adam's like, let's go get Legion.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know. You get hungry for that,
today.
don't you? That's great. So Wednesday special this week sounds really, really good. Beef stew with grilled cheese sandwich. I think it's really tough to beat a grilled cheese sandwich.
I love the grilled cheese sandwich.
I know. I do too. We made them a couple of times since Christmas after I told you I got my Vitamix blender because I made tomato soup. And of course you can't have tomato soup if you don't have a grilled cheese on the side. So that's such a good combo, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you dip.
If you dip.
You got to dip it in there.
You got to dip. You know what else I made this weekend was homemade Alfredo sauce.
I did something close to that. I don't like Alfredo because one of the main ingredients of Alfredo sauce is sour cream, and I just don't like
sour cream.
A lot of fresh Alfredo has that.
Mine just has cream cheese.
Okay.
No sour cream.
Mine, the one I do, I don't know if it'd be considered a tetrazzini or an Alfredo, and I made it last night.
Ooh.
It is, you take a half a stick of butter, start melting that. You take a good thwopping of garlic, throw that in there. A thwopping of garlic in there. Let that kind of cook and simmer and heat up, and so it kind of gets infused into the butter. You take just under a pint of heavy cream, pour that in. Then you add salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and then you take a cup and a half of Gouda and a cup and a half of Gouda and a cup and a half of Parmesan cheese.
Yum.
Dump that in there and just stir around until everything is distributed and simmers down just a bit, and then you pour that onto pasta.
Sounds great to me. Well, so here's how I used the Alfredo sauce. I just wanted to try and make it, and it was super easy. But anyway, we have a favorite that we haven't made for a long time. I make a pizza crust, and then instead of red sauce, I use Alfredo sauce. So I used my fresh Alfredo sauce. And then I topped it with caramelized onions, chicken, and mozzarella.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It was really good. And so anyway, I'm having some fun. I'm probably going to be 600 pounds if I keep testing out these recipes, but it's so much fun. So anyway, okay, couple other stories in the news. Here is a good one about a guy who rescued 10 people. You heard about that fatal New Year's Eve fire at the Constellation Bar in Switzerland.
Yep.
Just sad, sad, sad. Anyway, his daughter had called for help, and he is a financial analyst. He ran to the scene with a fire extinguisher when flames erupted around 1:20 a.m. His 17-year-old daughter had been delayed visiting her father's house and never entered the bar, likely saving her life. It was our fault she was late. She could have been at that club already at midnight. Today, I can say without exaggeration that delay saved her life. Anyway, he got over there and he did help out with fire extinguisher and did what he could, but it still was a very sad outcome from that event.
Yeah, pay attention.
Does it make you wonder a little bit why your 17-year-old is at a club on New Year's Eve?
It's Europe. I mean,
I guess.
18.
Yeah, I guess so. How about this one? I thought at first, oh, this is hard to believe, and then I think, probably not. Dining rooms are actually disappearing from new home designs.
I believe it.
Yeah, and they say it is because of cost. So nearly 80% of designers working on new housing developments report that separate dining rooms have dropped down buyers' priority lists over the past year, according to a new research. Now, I don't want a separate dining room because I like that open concept. So if that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, I think that's what they're referring to. I've never had, I guess technically, at my parents' house, the office, I think, was originally technically the dining room, but it was never used as it with my parents.
Okay.
But they've got, the big dining room table is in the living room. Just kind of, they've just got a really long living room, so it's off to the side. And then at our house, we've got kind of a big L-shaped thing that kind of goes into the kitchen and goes to the outside, and kind of like a little bay window area. That's where our dining room is,
Okay.
but it's not a separate room. It's all
We
encompassing.
did, in our last house, we had a separate dining room that we used as a separate dining room. But we also had an informal dining room, which is where we ate all the time.
Yeah.
So the formal dining room really never got used very much. In this house, it is kitchen, dining, living space is all like one big room and just separated by where you put furniture. And that's maybe what they're talking about here. Anyway, instead, builders, they're now creating flexible spaces that serve as home offices, as you mentioned, guest bedrooms or playrooms, plus expanded kitchens with larger islands where families actually eat. Rising labor and material cost pressure is part of that, while elevated mortgage rates really squeezing buyers too. The current median new home price, want to guess?
400?
$460,000. Remains unaffordable for roughly 3/4 of U.S. households. No kidding.
Yeah.
Designers are trying to figure out how to fit the same amount of function into a smaller footprint, making it a little more practical and a little more affordable for people. So, yeah.
But I mean, seriously, why have a room that you're only going to use maybe once every once in a while? Because even though we had that at my parents' house, we always ate in the kitchen. There was a table in the kitchen. We ate at the kitchen table.
And you know, it's really funny. We have a dining room table, and right next to it is a big island with 4 stools. And it's like, if we have a family meal, like, people are fighting to sit at the counter rather than at the table, which is really kind of funny. And it doesn't really matter because they're next to each other, and so everyone's together, and that's really all I care about. But yeah, I really like, I hope this open floor plan thing never goes away. It's not going to for me, because I'm going to die in this house. I'm never moving again.
I was kind of mentally going through, when we bought our house, we went through several houses before we picked one. And I'd have to say, I think only 2 of them had a separate dining room.
Really?
Now that
You know, when we were house shopping, I can tell you, I looked at exactly 3 houses in the same day. And that very same day made an offer on 1. So I did not look around very much.
we were selective.
Happy.
We had a lot of demands.
A lot of must-haves.
A lot of must-haves, and one of our big must-haves is a garage. And well, that's we showed up at this house, and we're like, okay, if that's the garage, this is a no. Should we just contact the realtor and say, no, we're not going to, we don't even want to look at this house? Jen's like, well, let's go look at it. And it seemed like it checked every box but the garage.
Yeah.
And so, oddly enough, that's what we bought.
Well, and it's tough to get every single box checked.
I mean, the hard thing was we needed to find a 4-bedroom house in our price range.
I know. It's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. Although I do see houses sticking around a little bit longer on the market now than they did before. And I don't know if that is because people are still trying to get those high dollars that they did maybe, let's say, a year ago. And people aren't jumping at that anymore due to the interest rates, or if the market has just slowed because of all kinds of things. Economy, you know.
The economy. I think the market would start picking back up here in the next probably 6 months. We've had 2 interest rate drops, and there's talk about a third one.
That's true. I've just noticed that there is a house up in our neighborhood that's for sale, and when that went up before, I mean, and we had one next door to us that went up, and they were both in bidding wars. And there were 3 houses up in our neighborhood that were for sale at the same time, and it was just who's going to get to which one first. And now one of those same houses is up again. As I talked with our neighbors, and they were not used to Minnesota, and they said, we are going back to California where it's warm. Not loving Minnesota weather.
I mean, it's not like we hide our weather.
No.
I mean, when you move to Minnesota, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Right.
But unless you experience it.
Do you know, speaking of weather, I had an interesting conversation over the weekend. My daughter's family had a couple of the Brazilian students that are at Hillcrest come and stay with them. Of course, the dorms have been closed, over Christmas for the break. And so these guys, I think they were traveling before and maybe staying with other people, and they kind of bounced around a bit. But anyway, they came for a few days to stay out at my daughter's house with with her kids, and just two really good guys. And I was just asking them a little bit about their, where they came from, where exactly they live in Brazil, and what their weather was like. I said, they had never seen snow, so they thought snow was great fun. Of course, my grandson took them ice fishing, driving on the ice.
Oh, nice.
And he took them snowmobiling, none of which they had ever seen or done. Anyway, so I said, well, what's it like where you live in Brazil now? And they said, it's summer, so we are reversed in our seasons. So, and I said, so what's a typical day? 120. I'm like, wow, okay, that's hot. Okay, so I said, what does your winter look like? And they said, typically, they can be in the 40s. And here's the interesting thing. Nobody, or very few people have heat.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, well, what do you do? And he said, we take blankets to school. My goodness. But he said, it's very rare that you find a family that has heat in their home, which I found very interesting.
Where in Brazil were they from?
You know what? They gave me a city, and now, of course, I don't remember. But
I knew some people from Sao Paulo.
Okay. Well, it just really interesting that there's no heat. I mean, like space heaters? I don't know. I don't know why they don't. So I was telling them at our cottage in the spring and the fall, when we go out early and stay late, there's some days that are pretty cool out there when maybe it gets into the 50s and the cabin is cold.
Yep.
And we have, I tried to describe like a little space heater. And I said, I don't think I could stay out there without that. And they're like, yeah, that's just what we do. We're just used to it. He said, we wear a lot of clothes. So I thought that was interesting. So anyway, they're thinking that the snow is pretty cool. I don't know how they feel about the cold, but, and it hasn't been super cold while they've been here. We've had a few of those days, but.
Few days, but not too bad.
Yeah, but anyway, they thought the whole ice fishing thing. And I said, have you ever driven in a car on the ice before? And they both laughed out loud. Never before. So anyway, they got to go ice fishing and snowmobiling. So they got run through the ranks of Minnesota over the weekend. Okay, so New Year's resolutions. It was funny this morning. I just looked around the gym while I was there, and I don't think I saw anybody new. It was the regulars. We were all there. But I don't think I saw anybody new. And the one thing you kind of don't want to do is start your gym membership on the 1st of January. And then you go there, and then people make fun of you. Like, oh, New Year's resolution. And anyway, I didn't see, it was pretty much the regulars there today. So, but anyway, they're saying New Year's resolutions may seem more difficult this year due to widespread mental wellness and a decline therein. And they call it change fatigue. Isn't there a name for everything? Just plain old tired.
There's
Is
a fatigue
that okay?
for everything, yeah.
Yeah. Studies show repeated change can cause emotional exhaustion, reducing people's willingness to engage with new goals. Or it could just be that you're plain old lazy.
I'm thinking lazy.
Yeah. Anyway, how about this? Here's a new term for you. Climate anxiety.
Oh.
Does that mean it's too cold for you to get in your car and go to the basketball game?
I know. I think that's worried about. They're anxious about climate change.
Yeah. Political instability. Well, if you're worried about that, just get set for the rest of your life, because that's what we're going to have. And economic uncertainty. Well, golly, I don't think I can blame not going to the Y on economic uncertainty, certainly not political instability. I mean, if we stop doing everything based on political instability,
you'll never
oh
do
my
anything.
Goodness, you'll never do anything. And climate anxiety, that one makes me want to throw up. Anyway, recommend shared resolutions among families or groups where responsibility is distributed. So, or maybe just responsibility in showing up so that you're held accountable. That's what I need. In the summertime, no big deal because I know my neighbor's going to be waiting for me every morning at 5:45. But in the winter, there's not really anybody waiting for me at the Y. So some days it's pretty easy to turn over. That accountability is a good thing. That's why it's good to always like meet somebody at the gym or work out together or pick somebody up. I don't know. Accountability, at least for me, is kind of necessary. How about this one? 5 ways to improve your health this year that do not rely on losing weight. It looks like over 2 million adults show that they are going to try plant-rich diets instead. This kind of goes after cardiovascular disease, cancer, premature death. So they're just going to eat well. They're going to add 200 grams of daily fruits and vegetables to help lower heart disease and stroke risk.
Okay.
And managing stress is another one. And I think that's a great thing to do. I'm not so sure how you do that.
I have yet to learn how to manage stress.
Yeah, and I can't say that I'm under a bunch of stress, but you know, some people do meditation. Oh my goodness. Talk about I went to like a yoga class
Jen loves the yoga.
I went one time, and at the end they're like, okay, meditate. And I sat there for about 12 seconds and I thought, okay, how long is this gonna last? I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't do that. So meditation, not for me. My mind is just racing while I sit there thinking, how can I get out of this? Would it be rude if I just got That's what I'm thinking the whole time. When is this going to end? Anyway, and then getting good night's sleep. Well, that's great if you can do it.
I've yet to achieve that in
me too.
a while.
Me too. Oh boy, up against the clock here. Okay, that is going to wrap it up, our first show in 2026. I'm so glad you got everything put back together and you got us up and on the air again. All right, thanks for joining us today on Monday. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Monument Company. Have a great day.